modern management thinking, there's a couple of new words that's been introduced. The concept of innovation, leadership, risk management, and so on and so forth. When I was studying economics at university a long time back, we were talking about land, labor, and capital as resources. But in modern thinking nowadays, this has changed. We are looking at people who can innovate, people who can become entrepreneur and manage their risks. In today's session, I'll be looking at something which is important: innovation. What is innovation? Is innovation something new in management thinking? For me personally, it's not new. It's been here since time immemorial. We had people who invented the fire, the Bronze Age, train, people go to the moon. If you look around us, all of this has been innovated. For me personally, innovation is something which makes life easier for all of us. Today I'm making a show, and something that's been innovated is this element here called a speakerphone. I remember when we were young, growing up, we had a guy with a microphone. So innovation is nothing complicated. For me, it's purely logic. The logic of making things life better for people and for everyone else. And this concept of innovation is very important. And very often when we talk about innovation, we think of very complex, difficult things to create, as if Archimedes has created Eureka, he found something. This is an aspect of innovation which would happen by miracle. For example, the invention of aspirin from a bug, invention of penicillin by Ian Fleming, and other accidental innovation that happen. But innovation itself is something which is a process. And very often when we talk about innovation, we think of products. So products will be something that you look at the feature, you make it nice, make it different, it has certain utility. But very often in management, the concept of innovation, which is different, is people who lead to innovate, which means that you make the process better. I'll give you a simple example. When we're flying in the olden days in aeroplane, when they call you to board the plane, people were just rushing into the plane. And that is something that was done for a long time. And some smart guy came and said, look, if the people are going to board the plane, everyone goes at the same time, why not innovate our processes by asking people who is going to board the plane in a very systematic way? So those who board first will be people at the back, and people who board last will be people in front. So for me, simply innovation is not a rocket science. It's about looking at a problem and finding a solution. And very often, management must understand what is the problem in the first place. What are we going to do about the problem? And we'll find in many places of work, people don't even know what is the problem, or the problem is defined by certain stakeholders, whether it's managers at the top, and sometimes different groups of people in different teams can have a problem. But that problem is never discussed and never put on the table. And I think personally, if you want to lead and innovate in the system of processes, it's time that we look at the problem first and then do something about it. This is what innovation is all about in a very simple term and not very complicated. And also, when we talk about the whole concept of innovation, it is a processes which has to be followed. There are things that you have to do and things you mustn't do. So this is the topic of today, which is about innovation, and I will look at next week the concept of entrepreneur. Does entrepreneur really needs to innovate, or is entrepreneur somebody who is different, who takes a product and the processes that sells it for money, and in innovation is something different? And then all of that has to be managed by risk. Is some of the topic I'll be developing in this first show about management teaching and thinking.